Okay, so we are in for the first game of the next match. Let's see how this is gonna be going for us. And if we are gonna be, well, having a nice matchup on our hands, we definitely should be having that, considering what kind of clans we are having against each other. The Walker team, who are actually the second from the Hybrid Clan Cup that we have seen just a few weeks ago. And we are gonna be also watching the opponents. So Gladiadores del Mythology, who are usually quite good, and some of the players, for example right about now Zoccio and Platinum, you can definitely know from another clan, Virtual Killers, a few years back, VK, that was one of the actually better clans, not really top, but they were definitely quite strong, and they haven't lost anything from their powers and from their skills. So they're gonna be right now playing with apparently a lot of Oranos yet again. Yeah, that seems to be quite favored by especially Walker team. So you can see it's gonna be double Zeus in there, Faraon and Yuli. You're gonna be pretty much playing full-on mirror. One Zeus and double Oranos all around in here. As Faraon for GDM is going to be right now playing on the flank. He's gonna be playing against the Oranos from xPlatinum. Whereas for the opposing team, there's gonna be the Zeus also on the flank, but on the other side of the map, it's going to be Yuli, and he is playing against Playhrd. So Playhrd is gonna be of course quite a good player overall. He is guesting for WKT. He already was in the last tournament in the Walker team. A success with the silver in Hybrid Club. And as apparently there are going to be some TCs in Volt Range, and actually plenty of them. So one here. Yeah, actually every player is going to be having a TC in Volt Range. So 3 TCs in Volt Range altogether. So winning the water is going to be significantly important for all the players across the map. As you're gonna be watching where they are gonna be placing their dogs so far, as this seems quite a solid position for Yuli. Gonna be getting a few fishing spots in there, whereas all the way to the top that's gonna be similar for Playhrd, even though we probably hope there's gonna be something a bit more to the top, whereas, well, the second dog is probably gonna be heading somewhere to the bottom here. I'll be expecting, as it usually isn't all that much in the meta lately, for the players to be preparing some kind of like beach defenses all that much. Usually they go for protecting the fishies a bit more. 50% built-in hit points, quite a nice relic to be had. Another one is going to be for wall hit points, which might be kind of helpful. You don't really wall that much with walls themselves on Mediterranean, but I can certainly imagine it being helpful if you want to basically just completely block in part of the map. Better cavalry speed, really great relic to be had. And the last one is going to be all the way on the left side for favorite kill with Ankofra, which is at least something, could be giving you a basic upgrade for free a bit later. But overall, we are looking at pretty much standard build-up on the water for Faraon, going for the cheaper variant without any kind of granary or anything like that, as he's already switching for the wood line on the left side, and it's a bit unsafer one, so of course he will be having a few options what to fall back to. This one, that one, maybe even this one and that one all the way to the top, but they are not exactly all that optimal, and potentially could have placed the storehouse a bit better, a bit more into the middle of the forest, so that he doesn't have to be replacing it a bit later, and much more importantly, so that he does get a bit more efficiency out of it for as long as possible. In the meantime, you're gonna be definitely expecting second dog from him about here, as we had about 3 minutes, so therefore, we are also gonna be waiting for, finally, the advances into the next stage. You can see that Zoccio having a bit of fun right about now with Yuli. So they're gonna be hoping that maybe they can also continue with some kind of aggression here, because you can see that Playhrd is gonna be heading back. He was scouting behind Zoccio. He's the flank player, obviously, and I'm kind of confused about the players slightly in the flanks. I think I am. I think I actually am, because I think I remember saying that Yuli was on the flank, which he's not. It basically, Playhrd confused me exactly, because he's not playing under WKT, but he's playing with FNX as the guest player. So sorry about that misinformation, as he's coming through restoration. And we're gonna be checking how he's gonna be looking for the other player on the other team. He's going to be right now not advancing yet, he's just now finishing with the temple, gonna be clicking into Hermes. So yet again, there is already a bit of difference in here. Definitely curious to see. As all the way to the top, Prometheus is on his way, and he's gonna be the one to actually face against Zoccio. So that was why we were seeing a bit of a fight there, and that's why it also didn't add up to me all that much, and why I was actually later figuring out what I said wrong in there. But anyway, second dog is already up from Yuli. Seems to be a fairly good position as far as still some kind of beach defenses. Like, but if he's gonna be luring the enemy into the middle, then there is a potential for shooting. For the red player, okay, he actually surprised me a bit. I was expecting he's gonna be putting the second dog all the way somewhere to the bottom for more fishies, but no, he went for the safety of these ones, which of course was a possibility as well, and it's gonna be inevitably resulting into quite a good defensive position here, and he will have some kind of place where to lure his enemy, and you can see, oh well, zoccio going basically straight for that, for defensive build-up altogether. He's not gonna be risking anything like this, like Faraon is going for. Basically, big divide between the dogs, which is gonna be basically not allowing any kind of help from both of them at once. But all the way to the bottom, if he's gonna be luring the enemy here, then he definitely does have the options for that. As all the way here, for xPlatinum, he's gonna be doing pretty much the same as what his teammate all the way to the top zoccio. So it definitely is going to be something pretty much like coordinated, and what they are liking to go for. This is definitely nice. A little guiding by zoccio in there that Playhrd was falling for, but otherwise they seem to be having pretty much similar numbers. Very similar numbers indeed. This is gonna be right now slightly better going for zoccio, but we need to be right now switching a bit more to the bottom, because there is the 2v2 brewing, and we're gonna be probably heading for Restoration Sundown soon. He's gonna be heading into something a bit more bigger, alright, obviously. So there we go. He's gonna be just a lot of flying around of the boats. As Faraon is also joining with quite a few boats, so far having 4, and the 3 MS from yellow are a whole lot more numerous. So you can see the later advance from Faraon is maybe not gonna be really paying off all that much, but there is also a bit going on the land. Nothing all that major, just a few oracles being turned into heroes, but there's gonna be a relic stolen for the Pygmalion statue. Villager hit points, it's definitely not bad at all. And could be helping a bit later in a few minutes, when the land attacks are gonna be, of course, coming and becoming a reality. Reality, sorry. That's not a Czech stream, at least so far. So there we go. This is right now gonna be, of course, looking quite solid for the right theme for Yulia with Kushiro Izumi, aka Luskit. You can also know him under this name, but he seems to be preferring this nickname lately quite a bit. And we are, of course, gonna be right now watching what's gonna be happening here, because so far it seems to be really not all that well going for Faraon. With xPlatinum, especially xPlatinum is kinda struggling getting the boats up there, especially looking at the army right about now, which is gonna be helpful to all the efforts. And of course, since they right about now do have the advantage, Kushiro Izumi could be helpful and helping with all of this and getting rid of it, and then basically continuing with the fights, as Mithril horseshoes for Playhrd are gonna be fairly important later, if maybe he wants to be switching into some Kontarai. Alright, so far this is really going rather well, as Purple is going to be apparently joining as well, as Red is in the fight quite fully. So this is going to be heading into 3v3, and therefore restoration is going to be quite inevitable. That seems like a pretty good spot, one of the better ones that they could be potentially even hoping for. And well, so far they are not all that keen on it, which is fairly interesting, because this seems to be pretty much an equal battle between all the players. So I'm thinking this is one of the better opportunities where to go for it. But they are kind of opting not to, and therefore they are losing. You can see that green, yellow and red are kind of prevalent ever so slightly, and right now, exactly when Kushiro Izumi is running away from the fight. So that was a wasted restoration right there. It's not gonna be completely wasted, there's still gonna be at least something, but holy damn, they could have gotten a whole lot more out of it. Yeah, well, not gonna be exactly the reality, at least so far. So at this stage, maybe they're still gonna be able to get something out of it, because I'm thinking that Kushiro Izumi is gonna be right now falling back to deal with xPlatinum, who has been basically able to get a bit of a free reign with the fishing boats of Zimu, or rather of Izumi, and maybe of other players as well. But we need to be right now switching onto the land, where zoccio is already going for a bit of raiding. You can see that Playhrd is trying to help his teammates at least a bit, having some kind of army himself, but otherwise the TC is gonna be, oh, he should have helped more. Should have helped a lot more, because right about now, if zoccio is gonna be noticing though, yeah, it almost seems like that he might not, but he is, and they don't have ceasefire. That's only on the other side of the map. So this is gonna be quite a solid disaster, especially since Red basically gave up on this. As on the water, the battle is kinda scrappy. As you can, just little battles all around, and nothing really all that huge. Just right now, Yuli is gonna be getting rid of all the reinforcements coming from zoccio. Blue is basically finding himself all the way on the other side of the map. Otherwise, Steel is fighting with quite a solid army, still against green, but Kushiro Izumi is definitely doing quite an excellent job so far against xPlatinum, and he is completely and utterly destroying his dog, so the water seems to be slowly heading for the Walker team, but I cannot really exactly say that it would be all that real and all that convincing, to be honest, at this point, because so far, it's really all kinds of interesting, as Yuli had to be sending even more villages forward to basically refight all the Murmilos, and that kind of division and basically delay is gonna be significantly important. Significantly important indeed. Okay, all the way to the bottom, there's gonna be some military buildings for xPlatinum. So you're gonna be right now watching with Koshiro Izumi trying to basically deal with him all together. It really seems that Green is very well prepared with all of it. As on the water though, he doesn't seem to be going they're doing all that well, as the opponents are so far going to be quite nicely doing it. As otherwise Yellow is not really exactly continuing with the battles. He still is producing at least a few units. But otherwise the water is still pretty much open for the taking, because yeah, well, it doesn't seem like that actually WKT would be doing an excellent job of basically getting rid of the opponents all that promptly. But Playhrd is gonna be apparently kicking into another gear. Gonna be having right about now the second TC with plenty of the players from WKT. Basically all WKTs are second TC, for the opponents nobody at all, at least for the time being. And yeah, well, yeah, gonna be right now watching what is gonna be happening here, because so far there are plenty of heroes for teal, or rather for purple, and I'm thinking it's gonna be very well prepared with all of it. Yeah, this doesn't really look like that that should be a battle for Playhrd to actually win at this point. So, but yeah, well, basically important part right about now here is that he's having much more presence on the land, and he's gonna be able to control the front TC from his opponent. But bit of a worry for me is for the Walker team that they are transitioning into land, which is nice, but they're gonna be using the water, and we said that there are many TCs in water range, and those could be really a huge problem fairly quickly indeed. And I'm not entirely convinced that this is gonna be really all that simple still. They are gonna be having a huge advantage on the land, quite apparently. Yuli is already the third TC. Gonna be right about now, not even a second TC so far for the blue player. Teal is at least on the second. He's gonna be taking a third, or attempting to take a third. So right now Playhrd is all across him. You can see that Zoccio is gonna be helping his teammate at least a bit, and he seems to be doing quite a good job at that. That seems to be quite alright. Whereas, well, the army from Playhrd is basically just waiting, so he doesn't want to be committing fully. He just wants to be waiting a bit after his TC is gonna be finished, and later he is going to be well prepared for whatever is going to come his way. Let's check the upgrades. So far, pickaxe and double plow. Double plow in there. That's all the way to the bottom. Right now, Yuli is no. I don't think he's gonna be winning this, because obviously this is 2 versus 1. As you can see that Green is basically not fighting water anymore. So even though he was having quite a nice push, he right now is relinquishing that on the water at least. And he is going to be right about now coming on exactly the manors and basically the blue base. Because right now blue is in kind of vulnerable moment. He has just spent a lot of resources onto the back TC, so he could be having a bit of a problem with everything. But apparently Faraon is gonna be joining his side, and therefore he is going to be kind of reinforcing at least the battles. But he should be coming for the towers at least, I'm thinking, as it could be going a long way towards the success there. He does have the resources for that, so I'm thinking that it doesn't have to be really all that bad. It really doesn't have to be all that bad altogether. And we are gonna be watching what's gonna be following through with Izumi also, or rather Izumi, also coming for the third run, the third TC already. Whereas for, yeah, poor Jason, he's gonna be dying fairly quickly. So far though, it seems like that even though the water is kinda open still, even though Yuli is still continuing apparently looking at the yellow blob in the middle of the minimap, we are gonna be watching probably a bit of a dominance of the top side by Playhrd. With Yuli, because it seems to be heading into the double, but it's gonna be really interesting, the dynamic. As right now, Playhrd is really pushing into the enemy as much as possible, but it's basically 2 versus 1, and at the bottom it's a 1 versus 2. It's gonna be all about Koshiro Izumi, if he's gonna be able to hold long enough. So far, he's pushing on the opponents really well, so I don't really have all that many doubts that he's gonna be able to hold for quite a few minutes. Whereas all the way to the top, this double is probably gonna be way too much to handle for Zoccio, even though of course he's gonna be doing what he can. But with the enemy already inside his base, with so many carry ballistae, and much more importantly, Zeus hoplites, this is gonna be not getting easy, as underworld passage is already in right now by GDM Faraon, and that's gonna be defensive underworld passage. That's a huge thing right about now, as it's gonna be of course meaning they don't have that option for later in the game, and this is already tactical victory. One of the tactical victories needed to be establishing an overall victory in the game as well, as they are so far doing quite a nice job of pushing forward. But apparently the hoplites are not gonna be strong enough, as the repair rate for all the citizens is gonna be way too strong. But the heroic ages are probably gonna be coming exactly across the map. Koshiro Izumi third, Yuli third, third, fourth xPlatinum, so basically most of the players are already taking them. Let's see, he's already taken the front TC in here as well. And since basically this double is still brewing and still going with a few military buildings right next to the red opponent, it seems really hard to me how GDMs should be overcoming that. As on the water though, they are definitely winning. You can see that yellow is recognizing that he basically just needs to go for a bit of reading into the water economy. Therefore this game doesn't have to be really as decided, because this TC is water range, water range, water range, water range, and once more water range. So potentially they can be really strangling the opponents if they take hold of the water right proper and build a few siege boats and basically deny all those TCs. That is still a significant way in. Problem is that the opponents are gonna be having underworld passage against them. So that is something that is probably gonna be costing them quite dearly. And so far, Playhrd is definitely pushing with the 4 TCs, and he does have quite nice upgrades so far, at least into mediums, with copper shields on him already. Opponent is having medium Toxotai. As far as the Murmilos, we don't see them exactly. It's a combination of Kerobalistae and Turmas on top of that. Turmas don't have any kind of upgrades on them. As yellow probably doesn't have anything, just the mediums. I would be expecting, gonna be waiting for the Forge of Olympus a bit later for him. But otherwise the army is really getting strong and the TC is fully upgraded at least. But the Thea is on her way. And once the British are gonna be coming in, well, maybe he's gonna be ever so slightly switching. And what the important part is that because of the underworld passage right about now, Kushiro Izumi is gonna be having a 1v1 against xPlatinum, and since he's fully controlling the middle of the map and like between them, then he should be having quite a nice game. Doesn't have to be really that fully nice, but so far he's at least keeping his opponent busy, which is much more important than anything else, because it seems to me that the Walker team is playing on basically victory on the right or on the top side and basically pushing through the opponents that way. Really seems to me that is exactly what they are aiming for. So Yule with Playhrd are okay, even the village is going that far. Is he gonna be dropping like a fortress into the middle of the enemy base? It's possible. You can see Hecate for Playhrd and Kushiro, and for xPlatinum with Yuri going through here. So no actually Forge of Olympus for him. That's interesting. But it could be making sense, because that is telling me right about now, looking at the game, that they want to be closing it over. Closing the game soon, and as soon as possible, as there's a bit of raiding apparently. Oh, that's gonna be for the... That's for the Tartarian gate somewhere here. That's quite a solid idea. Tartarian gate for the opponent is gonna be cast all the way through the top. As you can see that the underworld passage is already destroyed with another. Yep, I was just going to say that they could have used the Tartarian gate to destroy it. But no, they had another plan. They had Tartarian gate to the bottom to destroy that. And this is gonna be of course immensely helpful for Kushiro Izumi, because right now he can be pushing somewhere through the middle. Or maybe also not, because he apparently is slightly struggling with control in the middle of the map. And well, therefore, we are gonna have to wait a bit until he's gonna be back in full control of all of this. What is definitely true is that Underworld Passage is gonna be, or the Underworld Passage, Tartarian Gate could be also cast here by the opponents. Well, has it been? xPlatinum actually cast it here in the end. So that's gonna be maybe for the next one, but we need to be quickly switching all the way to the top. As the Lightning Storm is already coming, it's gonna be completely annihilating the piggies apparently. But much more important, even some units here and there. Doesn't seem like actually there were that many units. I really don't think so. So that was kind of interesting. As in the meantime, the TC is gonna be of course oh, that was close one. That was certainly because of that, because of the mythical age. Well, because it really seemed like that those destroyers might have been destroying it before the 100% was dead. That was damn close. But at this point, it of course means the second important god power is gonna be already used by GDM, and it's basically just signaling how hard the game so far for them is. But on the water, it could still be really curious, as there are already siege boats, and the TCs, they are gonna be falling. The TCs are gonna be certainly falling. They will be needing masons and all kinds of other upgrades as well. On top of that, was this actually Playhrd casting this or not? I wouldn't assume so. It would be really gutsy if he actually was going for something like that, but I don't think so. As right now, green is gonna be occupying the middle of the map. The Underworld, aka Tartarian Gate, is still very much present. You can see it's gonna be still a huge problem for the players. As all the way here is still basically present as well, and that's maybe a bit of a threat, a bit more of a threat actually here, because that's really not anything all that nice. As Tartarian Gate is gonna be next on probably cast somewhere here maybe. Probably here wouldn't be such a bad idea, but the Sky Passage is definitely quite a nice thing. But the TC is gonna be falling nonetheless with all the attacks and all the units as right now Playhrd at 4 TCs with huge echo, having champion archers with bronze and double copper, with even Lemurian descendants for a few more LOS, well, a few more, 9, it's actually quite a huge chunk all together, and well, Bellerophon is doing what he can. Not yeah, well, and what the TC has been right now falling to the bottom, and WKT definitely seem to be quite in the saddle at this point, and Gladiator as well, Mythology will have to do something quite significant to be right now stopping the opponents, like for example this, exactly as you were talking about it, but I'm slightly worried that it might be just a bit too late at this point, and therefore it might not exactly be having all that much of an impact as they would have been hoping for, as yeah, xPlatinum and Zoccio are already resigning, and Faraon is gonna be the last one. As well, all the way to the back there is going to be just a bit of raiding, maybe looking for underworld passage, but this was quite a solid Mediterranean with wide open battle on the water, altogether, and that was really quite impressive. How actually WKT transformed and transported themselves onto the land, and how they stormed the opponents. I definitely like Kushiro Izumi at the bottom. How he basically went into xPlatinum so quickly, that was very well done. He annoyed him even on the water and basically won the water through that. And then, a bit later, it was pretty much a basis for his success as well. They can be going... Yeah, they can go in just land at this point, because they didn't go for the ladder, unfortunately, in the game room. So, no problem this time around. Next time, though, it will be a bit better. If they did go for the ATS ladder, because it's allowing everybody to be downloading the recorded games quite easily, and much more importantly, it prevents them from being lost if you play games after. As you, of course, know, you have only 9 recorded games in your documents. So let's gonna go quickly through this, so they can be following into the next game. Playhrd, definitely outstanding player, but overall the whole WKT team really played it well. As far as the land, the water was a bit sketchy, to be honest, was a bit weird, but I'm thinking it was a plan, not to concentrate on it fully, and basically let the opponents come back and basically commit a bit more at a time when they would be already attacking through the land. And well, those kinds of mind games can be, of course, going a long way as well. Most common unit, the boats. Even though it was a 20-minute game. Playhrd with highest military units. Oh well, with all the TCs, not much of a wonder really. Okay, GG.